Live. Hi, hello, welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Today's Weather Tonight. Here, as always, I am your comedian slash meteorologist, your meteorologist for the evening, Cloud Hudson, and I'll be bringing you all of tonight's top vibe stories tonight. Vibe stories, meaning the weather, the news about what the vibes are doing. The weather is just vibrations, all in the atmosphere. I also think that weather is vibrations below the atmosphere and above the atmosphere. I don't think there's one real definite, this is the air, this isn't the air, cut and dry line, you know? So I look at all of the vibe stories. Let's start with the vibe stories going on with our volcanoes. I don't usually have no headlines to jump into tonight, but for some reason tonight, I just want to jump into our weather alone. No news today. We're not going to talk about any news today. Okay, for no reason. Volcanoes today. Ooh, look at this. Looks like we've got some earthquakes clustering in Iceland. Location of the earthquakes, top right is the magnitudes. Looks like we got a distribution between 1 and 3. The cumulative number of earthquakes is down here, and the bottom right is monthly earthquake count. So they've really shot up in the past, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. Really shot up. The number of earthquakes in Iceland has really shot up in the last 6 months. So don't know what to say about that. You can see the ash plume of Suunosjima very distinctly on the radar there. Here's the vivid glow from the vents as of the evening of January 19th of Kilauea. Liosufjöll. Liosufjöll, Iceland. The seismic activity near Grottevatn continues to intensify. Nearly 100 earthquakes above magnitude 1 have been recorded in January so far. This figure is comparable to December 2024, which saw the highest monthly count of earthquakes ever documented in the area. On the morning of January 16th, an M3.2 earthquake was registered. Although the Icelandic Meteorological Office has not received reports of it being felt in inhabited areas, residents in nearby regions may have noticed the tremor. This marks the largest earthquake in the area since the uptick in activity began in August 2024, surpassing the previous highs of M3.1 recorded on December 18th, 2024. So we have seen a big increase in seismic activity in Iceland, and we're going to see that reflected in our earthquake roundup here soon. Move this over. Oh, nope, that's not what I wanted to do. That one, yeah, that over here. Let's see. Now, looking at, I'm going to move this over here. Looking at Sakurajima, we had an explosion today. So we also had a explosion at Suunosjima. Canlaon in central Philippines has an eruption. Mount Ibu in Indonesia also continued its explosive activity. There was Lewatobi had volcanic ash. Samiru had volcanic ash. Merapi had volcanic ash. Dukono, Halmahera continued its explosive activity, including an ash plume that rose up to an estimated 8,000 feet. Kilauea in Hawaii has The eruption within Kaluapele paused at approximately 10:10 a.m. local time on the 18th of January. The fountaining activity suddenly subsided in both the north and south vents associated with the lava flows. A visible glow and high-level, near-constant steam-to-gas emissions are being visible from the vents. It is uncertain if the lava drainback will occur, as the vents have built up an internal structure that may stop lava from flowing back into the vents. Slabs of dark solidified crust continue to shift on the lava lake's surface, accompanied by typical bright orange lava glow. Semi to solid plastic crust is expected to overturn. The volcanic tremor slowed down before 10:10 a.m. local time. So, Kilauea's fourth eruption of this current series has come to a little bit of a slowdown, a close, wrapping up its current eruptive cycle. This will be now, if it happens more like a periodic eruption, we'll go back into recharging the magma chamber underneath it and getting ready for the next eruption. On the surface, though, the semi to solid plastic crusts, that's the cooling crust of the lava that has molten lava underneath it, like flowing underneath it, and the colder solid lava on the top doesn't move as fast as the more warm and fluid magma on the bottom, so it'll create the shapes that it does based on varying viscosities and like rates of flow and stuff. So that should be really cool by the time it all settles down. We don't know if it'll backwash into the vents, as we don't know about the internal structure there. Popo continues light volcanic ash emissions. Santiaguito had sporadic ash emissions. Down in Colombia, we had Nevado del Ruiz with a new volcanic ash emission. Parache in Colombia, new volcanic ash and gas emissions observed to 19,000 feet. We had Sangay in Ecuador has occasional volcanic ash emissions, and Reventador down in Ecuador had the volcanic ash has finally dissipated. So, moving on to our earthquakes, we're going to take a look at where that, let's start here in Iceland. We have a 5.2 indicated at, where was this? What depth? 0 kilometers depth. That's a surface 5.2 here in Iceland. That's probably a Jökulhlaup. It's near the Bardabunga ice sheet. This is the volcano that here in this area has, it does this thing where it's capped by an ice layer, right? It's capped by a glacier, this active volcano. So when it has heat emissions in the form of magma or gas or anything that could melt the ice, it melts the bottom layer of the glacier, and that destabilizes the glacier to like lift up, become buoyant enough to let all that now melted water out, and it like sometimes the earthquakes around here can be from those big outbursts of newly melted water from underneath the glacier, or they can be from the actual activity itself that would cause the melting. Let's see. Let's go next to check out, and there's of course that seismic swarm we talked about. 5.6 at 0 kilometers depth down here on the mid-Atlantic ridge at the equator. That was actually from the 14th. Let me go to one where it doesn't show that. maybe that 5.6 was not from. Yeah, that was also from the 14th. I don't know why it showed this. I don't know why my date slider has been off on this, but I want to see only things that happened today. We got several large threes over here surrounding Puerto Rico. We also have down here in northern Chile a 3.7 at 64 kilometers depth. Up here in Oklahoma, there was a 1.9 at 5 kilometers depth. Our most recent quake on here is a 1.0 in Texas. Texas is going to be our biggest precipitation story of the day, so stay tuned for that, Texas. 2.7 looks like it was the biggest one over there in Texas today. We had a 3.3 at 25 kilometers depth up here in Montana. That was near a 2.7 at 13 kilometers depth. And then just south of those two was a 1.5 at 0 kilometers depth. Then we had all of our no Nevada quakes today. Nevada, or actually just a handful of Nevada quakes. Most of our quakes over here are Southern California quakes. Let's see, 3.2 in Juan de Fuca fracture zone at 14 kilometers depth, 2.0, 2.8, and 3.5, all clustered up here near Seattle. Then up in Alaska, we've got this 3 up here at the top of the world at 3 kilometers depth. Then we had another 3.1 over here, a 2.6, a 3 right down here at 123 kilometers depth. That's a pretty deep one. We're actually looking at some pretty deep and large earthquakes in addition to our regular amount of like just a big old swarm in Alaska. Over in Hawaii, we only saw a 1.8 recorded. Oh, and I forgot to say that we had a 5.3 out here in the Easter Island region is what the USGS map wants to say. But I don't really think of this as the Easter Island region. This is pretty much the East Pacific Rise. It's kind of like the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, only, oh, you made me a Prezi, like a present or a presentation on Prezi. Hi, I'm glad to see you. Welcome, Jenny. I'm glad you're here. We had a 4.6 off the coast of the Kuril Islands at 61 kilometers depth, a 4.5 at 88 kilometers depth down here in northern Japan. We had this stack of quakes down here near Taiwan. The 6.0 was the largest at 10 kilometers depth, and there was then a 5.1, a 4.8, and a 4.7, all clustered around Taiwan in the middle of the day today. There was also a 5.4 near that in the northern Philippines at 136 kilometers depth, so pretty deep down there, whereas the Taiwan one was pretty shallow at 10 kilometers depth. There was also more like a barbell type deep and shallow in the same region, 4.8 and 5.0 out here on the eastern corner of the diamond-shaped Philippine plate, where the Marianas Trench is the leading edge of it there. There was a 4.9 here and at 35 kilometers depth and a 5.6 at 35 kilometers depth, both out here in the Solomon Islands region. Then as we get down here, I think this is going to say it's in Vanuatu, but it's the Comedic Islands, New Zealand. We had a 4.4, very, very close to an island there in the Kermadec Islands. And this is on the backside of the wave-shaped plate boundary, or what I like to call the wave-shaped plate. because I think it looks like a crashing ocean wave. Now, up in China, this was not yesterday, but today we had a 4.4 at 10 kilometers depth in central China, then a 5.0 and 4.8 kind of aftershocking still in the area of Tibet where that big 7.2 was a few weeks ago. Then the 4.3 over here was just barely in India. Let's see what part. Leh, India, near Bangong Ko, which I think is Bangong Lake. That is in the Karakoram range of mountains. Karakoram mountain range. That's the part of the Himalayas up there in northern India. That's probably disputed territory. Might be part of the Kashmir area that is disputed between India and Pakistan. So I don't want to call anything the wrong thing, you know? Let's go to next. What else? Oh, we had a 4.0 over here in southern Iran at 10 kilometers depth, and then a 4.4 in the East African Rift Zone in that Great Valley. Not many updates from Ethiopia on the volcanic front, but I think last time I checked, they had active eruptions in that East African Rift. Let's see. Also, I know my hair looks crazy today. I am currently dyeing it. You're going to see some really cool colors here eventually. But for now, it just looks even more tinfoil hatty than I usually do. Let's see. Next, let's go to our atmosphere. So the big story tonight in the atmosphere is that we've got, let me go to derived winds in this corner one. Big story is down here in Texas, Oklahoma, and the Gulf Coast region. We are looking at their big old winter storm. Northern Texas, Panhandle of Texas, and Oklahoma are currently in the thick of it. Earlier tonight, we got everywhere from Nuevo Laredo to Houston, Austin, and San Antonio. Everywhere is getting their fair share of the snow machine. Kind of petering out after sunset. It got really bad for a while once the cold sunk in. All of this moisture was able to freeze up once we didn't have that solar heating input. But really, if we back out, we can see the evolution over the full day. You see down here, we've got more of the icing going on. Ice, wintry mix type precipitation. That is probably associated with the power outages there. Looking for our all-day scan. All right, around 3:30, we were just getting snow up here in the Panhandle of Texas and Oklahoma. The rain started to move into the southern Gulf Coast of Texas. Then, as the sun sets right around 5 and 6 p.m., you see all of this moisture turn into winter precipitation, snow, because at the higher temperatures, it may not have been a cloud. It may not have been able to condense, but at the lower temperatures, this turns into snow. It's also coincident with upper level warm air advection, lower level cold air advection, and mid-level positively tilted trough. So not as bad as it could be, but still lining up with a trough. Let's see. Yeah, you can see the different directions of airflow down here in my derived motion winds product of the GOES satellite. This is showing where we've got that onshore moisture flow at the lowest levels. And way at the upper levels, we've got saturated, moist, high levels of the atmosphere. And our mid levels of the atmosphere are advecting in some of that cooler air is really staying steady over here. So what they've described in this mesoscale discussion for winter mixed precipitation is wintry precipitation rates should increase through tonight across southeastern portions of Texas, with sleet and freezing rain accumulations likely to continue. 700 millibar, that's like a middle layer. Warm air advection continues to increase atop a sub-freezing air mass over southeastern Texas as a positively tilted mid-level trough glances the region to the north. Meanwhile, the dry low levels support wet bulb temperatures well below freezing, given ample evaporative cooling sublimation potential. Cooling and sublimation is how you would get to that wet bulb temperature. Over the next couple of hours, cooling continued over the surface to 850 millibar layer due to both 925 millibar cold air advection and evaporative cooling should support increased potential for wintry precipitation, as evident based on recent reports of ice accretion and sleet accumulations. The greatest near-term potential for freezing rain / ice accretion will be along a zone roughly from Wilson to Tyler counties, where surface observations show surface temperatures already cooled below 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Latest high-resolution guidance shows sleet and freezing rain rates peaking sometime after 6C, including over portions of deep South Texas. With time, at least moderate snowfall rates may eventually be observed closer to southeastern Texas coastline. All right. So everything we've been talking about for the Northeast and deep South, mid-Atlantic South is now happening for the Gulf Coast, Texas area. Looking at some pretty decent snowfall down there, honestly. I'm quite jealous. I mean, there's snow on the ground outside where I am, but it's like 11 degrees, so it's not going to snow anymore. Up here in the Great Lakes area, we have the lake effect snow machine in full effect. You can see which direction the winds are by the direction that the snow is banding in. The slope of the banding is the direction of the winds. Here in upstate New York, we've got mesoscale discussions for heavy snow, both near Watertown and from Dunkirk to Buffalo. This is lake effect snow, should continue with 3 inches per hour intermittent snowfall rates. That is crazy high. That's going to happen for several hours. So 3 inches per hour for several hours is a lot. It's a convective band. The degree of saturation in the dendritic growth zone, yeah. A lot of snow is expected in upstate New York tonight. Let's see. Anything else I want to talk about? Let's take a look at the temperatures today. Wrong link. Our temperatures today were downright frigid, just freezing cold everywhere. We're in the sub 30s in almost pretty much every single state on the map has somewhere that is freezing cold. So today was really fucking cold. Every single place has freezing temperatures. Some places have sub-zero temperatures. That's not even with wind chill. With wind chill, everywhere feels like it's freezing. Way more places feel like it's freezing. Even places that are literally on fire feel like they're only in the 50s. We got some wind chills at like negative 35, negative 33, 39. That's just downright nasty. -4 wind chill near Dr. Lee Balone in southern Vermont. Negative to single digit to negative wind chill temperatures in Oklahoma. Actually pretty nice where Kaylee is out there in northern California. Oh, hello. I am so excited to see what you mean by presentation. What determines the depth of earthquakes? Is it complicated? It's trigonometry, but I don't remember the equations as well as I remember the ones for the atmosphere. Hi, Wes. I love you. I'm so happy to see you. Doctors in the train, -1 here in Vermont. I bet it feels colder than that too. Let's see. Oh, let's look at our satellite. GeoColor satellite is going to show us the movement of everything. Getting that nice troughing down here, this is the polar vortex, everybody. This is it setting in. Look how frozen, frigid cold that is. That it looks like it should be cloud top temperatures, but that's just accumulated snow on the ground through that Ohio River Valley overnight. Yeah, looking cold as fuck, which is accurate. Let's look at our mid-level water vapor. And that's where you can really see it feeding these Texas storms. Los Angeles still dry. I wonder why. The fires create more fire conditions, believe it or not. It's a self-feeding loop there. Got lots of dry air from the rest of the state swooping down into the valley. As we move throughout the day, we got that Pacific train of moisture moving into Texas, really saturating the lower levels, kind of being a feeder cloud, encouraging the convection and condensation of the winter storms down there. Let's move on to our let's go to our solar weather. My brain broke today. Not too bad, but it is a little broke. Schumann resonances. Ooh, the Schumann resonances finally picked up in the past day. So we've got an increase in transfer of energy from the upper ionosphere to the surface level. We got a little bend here in those higher frequencies. Very interesting little background patterns showing up. But yeah, increase in both mode 1 and 2 and sub mode 1 frequencies. So low frequencies have been up. Let's look at our solar weather. And solar weather. Oh, that's the wrong solar. Solar weather. Looks like we've still got some pretty high wind speed, solar wind speed at 602 kilometers per second. We're increasing in coronal mass ejections today. We went from 25 to 33 So that would be 9 coronal mass ejections here. None of them look like they had a possible halo, though. It is not necessary to have a halo to have something directed at us. Let's look at if WSA and Lil have modeled anything coming towards us. Nope. Not really modeling anything significant other than that big increase in solar wind speed due to the coronal hole facing us. Our sunspot regions are looking ... Ooh, active. We've got just on its way out, region 3964. We've got regions 3961 and 3964, both classified as beta, gamma, delta type configurations. That is the more complex configuration, the type that is more likely to give us these big X flares. This 3961 is the one that we looked at yesterday, looking like a pot of boiling water ready to explode. 3964, though, on its way out, is giving us quite a show. This is what they look like on their own there. Oh, yeah, it looks very active on its way out. I feel like sunspots somehow, I feel like I've noticed them increasing in strength on their way out, but maybe that's just an observation bias and wanting them to get strong while they're facing us. No M-class flares today, though, I'm afraid. Let's see our auroral activity. KP index of 2, that's going down, but hemispheric power is up. And yeah, that brings us to hemispheric power predicted to reach 60 gigawatts. Was that occurring? Not really. Let's see the planetary weather for real this time. We are in our last degree of Mercury in Capricorn 2. I've just been doing some work with this decan and of Capricorn, so I'm noticing its movement through Mercury's movement through Capricorn 2. We have the Sun conjunct Pluto at 1 degree of Aquarius. That is opposite Mars retrograde in Cancer at 24 degrees. This opposition would be more exact if it was at 1 degree of Leo, but as it stands, we've got that Aquarius Cancer opposition. 19-degree Mercury is making a trine to Uranus, which is also making a sextile to Mars. And I'd say that Mars is more properly opposing Mercury in Capricorn than Pluto and Sun. That'd be more correct, I'd say. That Mercury is also exactly squaring Chiron in Aries. So whatever is feeling like mercurial Capricorn things to do for you right now is probably clashing with some Aries in your life, or somebody with high Aries energy, or the parts of the wounded healer parts of your relationship to ego and self. We are coming off of this Venus-Saturn conjunction in Pisces, which squared our Jupiter in Gemini. And we still have Neptune in Pisces, holding it down, keeping us dreamy. We've got the moon opposite that Chiron in Aries, moon at 24 degrees of Libra, making a square to Mars retrograde in Cancer. So the moon rules Cancer. Mars, I think, has dignity in, or at least I think it has some sort of decan ruled by Mars, or Mars does well in Libra. I don't remember what it is. But no, Mars doesn't do well in Libra because it can't make decisions. Anyway, I'm making stuff up. Saturn is the one I was thinking about as the... Anyway, the moon is in Libra at 24 degrees. it is square Mars retrograde in Cancer. So there's probably some clash between the justice, balance, fairness, peacemaking, people-pleasing, but all fairness due side of things, clashing with the homemaker, the fiercely protective, the loving maternal kind of action, maternal action kind of stuff. There's a clash between your social justice and your home life or something like that. I'm gonna go back here. I want to play my thingy and then get going. Hey, all 5 of you. I'm so happy everyone's here. It's great to see you. I love you very much. Welcome to the show if you're new. I am just wrapping up our daily weather report, and my weather report always includes astrology and solar weather and everything you've just seen today. Hello, Bog Hag. I'm so glad that you appreciate my combo of Earth weather, space weather, and astrology, because it's all weather to me, and I am here whether you like it or not. Ah, ha, ha, ha. Okay. It's harder to use this as the dowel, but I needed the Palo Santo energy today. Okay. Oh, it smells so good. Okay. Just trying to. Okay. Hi. I'm glad you're here. Let's see. This is the vibe weather portion of the show. And all weather is vibes, but this is the part where I get a little forecast, a little, no, it's not a forecast. I'd say it's more of a measurement of the state variables of what's going on with the vibes. What's going on with things beyond what we can observe and predict with planetary movements, solar observations, atmospheric weather, volcanoes and earthquakes. We're going to get a little, we use cards to tap into things that are beyond the material realm. Hopefully they can use a little bit of energy from the lights in here, from the seeing bowl I played, from the crystals that go with each deck to give a little message of what the current vibe weather is. What's the energy coming in from the outside and outside from the inside of the universe, of things beyond and beneath what this realm seems to be. Can I get one card for that, maybe? wants me to pick them. Okay. This is a glorious time for me to be on this earth. It's got somebody sitting very small in front of a setting sun. And it says, you are extensions of source energy here in these magnificent physical bodies. The amazing diversity of your time-space reality provides the perfect balance from which to create and attract. There has never been a better time to be upon your planet. That is quite a message for today. This is a great time to be on this earth. That is not the message I've heard a lot of people say today. And I like the energy that it's giving us, a challenging energy, challenging us to be positive about what's going on, about the crucial time we're in. Next, let's go for the one that I've got with little labradorite, little flashy labby. Nice ASMR of crystals. Let's see what goes along with this. Do a little shuffle-a-roo. Goes with, this is a glorious time to be on this earth. The Knight of Wands. Well, Knight of Wands upright. You know what we need to do? We need to take action. This is so much a vibe for this year when we are about to move into a time of lots of air and fire planets in the sky. This is not a time to sit and contemplate and wait. This is the time to do, to make, to grow, to go into action. Maybe not necessarily battle, but the Knight of Wands would love for you to do battle. Commit to your plans, make them manifest. This is when we're actually doing the legwork of the divine inspiration, the workhorse of manifestation. Got to actually do it. Got to get off your butt and do it. All right, let's see what the liminal space has to say with a ocean jasper. I might get more information about that Knight of Wands in a minute. What do you have to say? With, this is a glorious time for me to be on this earth, and the Knight of Wands. Perhaps there's a fight coming. I don't. It does sound better than the Ten of Cups reverse did. That is for sure. You're going to take, yeah, you can't wait for me to take off the hairnet. I will show you what's under the hairnet in so soon. It is, I'm going to make a YouTube video, like a long form video about the hair dyeing process. It's going to be so cool. I just have to rinse it out soon. I've got rainbows and purples and everything. It's, guys, just you wait. It'll look so freaking cool. I promise. Okay. Please don't scare you. I don't know what would be scary. Okay. Ooh, primary problem with language is its magic. This is both possessive. This is like the possessive version of it's. It's not, it is not a contraction of magic. It says the primary problem with language is its magic. The magic that belongs to language. So, and it's got the Tower of Babel on there. Maybe there's some spicy conversations that need to happen soon. Who knows? Let's interpret that. The primary problem with language is its magic. Just as a shaman will insist there is a difference between smoking a cigarette and praying with tobacco, there is a distinction between speaking and the casting of language as a tool, and it is the most prolific of all our tools. A person can be forever moved by a song, a book, an insult, an argument. Nothing can ever truly be taken back, just as energy cannot be destroyed. So let's be very careful what we say. I need to be very careful what I say. In current predicaments in my life, I need to remember that language is magic. Words are spells. That's why they call it spelling. That we make real what we make heard. And that is how we can take this energy of a great time of transmutation of energy. We can take that and make it our manifestation energy by claiming it, by using language to claim that energy. It's just, I would like for conversations to be uplifting and warming and comforting and healing for everyone, and not scary and warlike. I think that if we deal with confrontation as an act of radical love and challenge to be better than and take somebody's challenges as an opportunity to be vulnerable and reflect on your own self and your actions, that can be a very good catalyst for change if we've had trouble breaking through to the other side. Okay. So overall, everyone's getting frozen, except for a very small portion of California that's on fire. The Schumann resonances are finally back online. The sun is back in its active peak solar cycle activity era. Kilauea has slowed down, but Iceland is back in the news as having a big seismic swarm and maybe getting ready for another, I don't know, maybe some more volcanic eruptions. And our earthquakes seem to be picking back up right at the same time when our Schumann resonances are picking back up. So that's it for tonight's show. I love you guys so much. I really do love you. I couldn't do this without you. I'm grateful that you're here and that you care and that you listen, and you don't even have to listen. Just being here means a lot, and talking to each other in the comments means a lot. I love you. I do this for you because I don't know why. I just feel like I have to say it. So I love you guys. Thanks. I'll be back tomorrow night with the hair reveal. So come back tomorrow night for a very exciting episode of Today's Weather Tonight. I've been Cloud Hudson. I'll see you later. Bye.